today is a big day. I am moving offices. Yes, my beloved office, unfortunately I have to relocate. Luckily not far, it's just moving to another unit. But that is because of our fifth value. We believe the only constant is change. So now is the change where from my favorite office I have to go somewhere else. Now this office was actually very special to me because there were a lot of things happening here. All the meetings I had here on these, literally these chairs, then obviously the bookshelf and all the wisdom that is there. Also this board, the amount of knowledge that was transferred on it is just amazing. I've also got my other board, which is, well, it was hung vertically because it didn't fit, but yeah, there was a lot of important information on it, but unfortunately we have to move. Now this office was set up based on the guidelines for time management. So where the rule is where you should be able to do around 90% of your work without having to stand up. So if you have a look at how this desk is set up, first of all I've got this funny chair. So you might think, well, why am I sitting on this funny looking chair? The thing is that I used to have back pain. Like honestly, I did feel the same as every other office worker. And I tried exercising and strengthening it, stretching, it never worked. So what I ended up doing is buying more sophisticated, more comfortable desk chairs. So I had everything supported, like my neck was supported, my arms were supported. And what I didn't realize is that actually by the more support you provide, the less your muscles work. Therefore they get weaker, and that is why you have all these pains. And I learned that when I had some issues with my legs because I was running. And someone recommended, well, Michael, just ditch all your soft shoes and go for like almost barefooted running, which you just have like a sort of tread which is only like 3 millimeters just to prevent you from, I don't know, sharp objects like glass and so on. And the reason behind that is that when you have soft shoes, you just hit with your leg straight into the ground because it is the shoe that will absorb the impact. But then everything else, the whole impact goes into your knee and hip. So the same as when you're sitting, if the more comfortable you are, the less your muscles work. It's like plaster. If you put your leg in plaster, after a month, the muscles are all gone. So I decided to go for this combination, a stool from IKEA, probably £5, and then this ergonomic pillow, which is used for exercising balance on your leg. So when sitting down on it, you naturally have a straight back, and because it wobbles, all those tiny muscles in your spine have to be active. They have to fire in order to keep yourself in position so you don't fall over. I did try with a Swiss ball, but the problem with the Swiss ball is that you can't tuck your heels back, and it's actually very important because if you get your feet back, then it puts your pelvis into the sort of most natural position in order to keep your whole spine straight. So that's why I have this. I'm actually also experimenting a bit with kneeling, so I actually take this away and I just kneel on the floor, which then straightens your back even more, but I won't be demonstrating it now. Let's continue with the desk itself. Literally 90% of the things I need to reach out are within arm's reach without having to stand up. So as you can see, anything that I need in terms of stationery or pens and so on is within arm's reach. Telephone, arm's reach, then all my drawers. I even have the secret space for like stapler, my calculator, and also a puncher. If there are any documents I need, I can just rotate and reach out for them. Well, this one's actually already empty, but let's say this one here, I can literally reach out without having to move around. And obviously if I continue to rotate, I have everything else available. The printer behind me, and if I need to grab anything from here, again I can reach out just by sort of leaning towards it. So the problem with having quite a big office, and this is quite a large office, is that you're sort of tempted to spread things out. And I remember in my first office at the other unit, I had the same size, but what I did is I spread everything around. So I made use of the whole office, and only later I just thought, well, why am I just walking the whole length of the office only to get a printed out sheet? And then I was also reading a lot about the Toyota lean manufacturing concepts, about time wasted, and time is wasted in between processes. The walking, that is wasted time. So this is essentially like the most efficient way of working. It's almost like a Formula One pit stop where you are surrounded by all the tools you need in order to get your work done. But that's it for now. That's unfortunately the end of this location. And the other reason why I really enjoyed this place, and specifically this desk exactly in this spot, is because right over there is the approach to Heathrow on the left runway, heading from the east. So before COVID, every 1 minute and around 20 or 30 seconds there was a plane landing, obviously providing they were landing on the left hand runway, not the right, because they do alter midday or somewhere around midday. So it was just beautiful. I could work and see a plane landing, continue working and see another beautiful plane, and all the double deckers, 747s, which unfortunately are most of them grounded and they've stopped being used in service. So it was just beautiful. It was probably the best feature of this office was being able to see approaching planes. The office I'm moving to unfortunately won't have a view on planes, but I'll be still able to hear them. So maybe if anything, I'll just sort of move closer to the window and look out as to what's out there. So yeah, last few minutes in my favorite chair, behind my favorite desk. So yeah, I'm just taking it in. But yeah, anyway, time moves forward. We just have to crack on. So I'll start by probably packing up my books. So yeah, let's get on to it. I've got some boxes, there won't be enough, so I'll probably have to grab some more from the storage next door. But what I'll do is first, and it's something I really recommend to you as well, is to take a photo first, because it's obvious where things are now, and one would have thought that I will remember it all within one day. I'll still remember where things are, but that's not the case. As soon as I start unpacking boxes, like, oh my god, where was this, where was that? And it's quite important to me because there's some logic behind it. You might even see, well, it might be helpful later where they're all labeled. So like this section here is for the E-myth. This one here is for lean manufacturing. Below is the theory of constraints, so quite a lot of books about it. This one here, well, miscellaneous, which means a bit of everything, which is not really informative. And then a whole section about leadership. Yeah, so again, we've got some biographies, and this is an interesting one, which actually is quite makes everything more efficient. It's to read. So instead of just piling them anywhere, this is your sort of buffer, your sort of Kanban. And a few other sections, but still I'll take a photo so that once I unpack, I'll put them exactly the way they are, because as we know, we tend to remember locations. So yeah, just make my life easier. So let's crack on with a photo. With today's phones, they're so good that actually, I'll just move a bit back. You can zoom in. Okay, got this. Is there anything else I need to remember? Actually, just in case, I'll take a photo of my office, and actually I'll take a selfie of myself with my office. That's again historical photo. I might show it to my grandchildren one day that this was my favorite office. Okay. Yep, so let's start packing. This is it's a poeticos. So it's a pot which is was used by Afrikaners in South Africa, and I bought it on a school trip when I lived in South Africa. I was probably 7, maybe 8 years old, but Pretoria is the place of my birth, and I love making a poeticos, so that's why I keep it with me. It's been with me for 30 odd years now, so yeah. Small trophy of my own. And here we have this kind of plaques that we hand out depending how long people have been with us. When they join us after the probation area, they start with a cadet, then they become I don't remember, to be honest. What is it, officer straight away? Yeah, I think officer, then captain. I don't know, we'd have to check that. But after 10 years, as you can see, you become a general. So yeah, I've attained this plaque, just under 2 years ago. Don't know what will happen once I'm 20 years in the company, but we shall worry then. Okay, some other stuff. This is actually quite nice. It is stilo printed in a beam, but it was 3D printed using plastic. So yeah, it's just of a nice feature. Steel beam. This board describes who I am. It's a nice exercise I've done many years ago, and I really recommend to everyone. But basically, if I die, you could hang this on my grave and it will specify who was Michael K, or ask Michael K. Basically, these are my born strengths. So I love to simplify things. I hate red tape and bureaucracy. Next, I love solving problems. Integrity while doing everything I do. Living close to nature. That is why I tend to go to the woods and biking and running and everything else. And point number 4 is the reason why I'm sharing all my experience and knowledge with you. It's because I love helping achievers. This is a nice feature. It's as you can see, a very nice 3D structure, and I received it as a gift from Foster & Partners, the architectural company, because when we went to visit them, I kept on staring at this thing, and I just couldn't believe how beautiful it is. These shapes, there's disorder, but there's order in this disorder. And they saw me just staring at it, and I couldn't concentrate. And then once we had another meeting over here in this office, they brought me a box saying, Michael, this is a gift for you. And I opened up and they printed one for me. So yeah, something special, which I really, really like. This is also a very nice sort of feature. As you can see, it's a charging rhinoceros. And I got it because one of my favorite slides when I introduce myself during seminars and webinars is showing that this is how I felt when I started the business. There's so many obstacles, and without me being the charging rhinoceros, this business would have never survived. So that's why I keep it as a reminder that sometimes you just have to be that charging rhinoceros, where regardless of all the obstacles, you just have to keep charging, and then just after some time things will start to fall in place. So yeah, it's a nice reminder, although I have to source another box, because if I just leave it, then unfortunately I'm worried it might get damaged in transit. And this golden bar was gifted to me by one of our employees. Obviously it's not gold because it wouldn't be that light, but it's because I do refer to 1 hour being 1 golden bar in a day, and if someone takes 1 hour away from you, pretend someone has stolen a golden bar from you. That is how precious your time should be, and then you should, based on that, judge whether that time was well spent or whether someone stole it from you. So yep, as a sort of reminder. Oh, actually I would have forgotten this guy. Very important. It was gifted to me on our 10th anniversary. Because this is what running a business looks like sometimes. It's like having an anchor which is embedded in the ground, and the whole idea is that your business should be without this anchor. So you should turn around, lift this anchor and have it as a flag rather than having it dragging behind you. But yeah, it just reminds me of all the difficulties that are unfortunately as part of running a business. But this time around I have to really make sure it doesn't get damaged, so I think I have to shift things around. No, maybe like that. I know it looks horrible, as if I will destroy it, but don't worry. Once it falls into place, it should hold nicely. Yep, there we go. And because it is a box, there should be nothing pushing on it. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? I guess that's it. Everything else will be taken as we go, like the screens, the shelves, and some of those pieces of steel. These pieces of steel, I mean, obviously it's steel, so they can be taken as they are. This is a reminder of the company I mentioned, Builders Beams. So yeah, it's part of the furniture now. So yeah, the next step is to load it onto a truck, move it across and unpack. So my vehicle, I already mentioned, is the best vehicle out there. It's not only a mobile office, it's not only a carrier for my bike, it's also being used now to move my office. Come and let me show you. See all the boxes I've been packing, they easily fit inside this vehicle. So now the guys are helping me to just offload it, and we have to offload it onto the production floor because the office I'm moving into still will be redecorated over the weekend. So we temporarily have to store it over here, but then once that's done, we'll be free to move into the final destination. This is what business is about. It's about thinking about the future, improving on the current state of things, constantly looking for some new opportunities. So if there are any questions you'd like to ask, then either comment below. If you'd like for me to share with you some more information about a specific area or to show how our business operates, then please reach out. Also remember that my purpose is to help you in business, help you to grow your business. I do this through various seminars and events, but the best way to find out is to go to askmichaelk.com.